Hello, everyone. Yay! Okay, we got it. Yay! Woo! Welcome back to the Florida Aviation Network, and we're here. We've got a wide shot. I got a gentleman here that, Gene.
Are you, sir?
Welcome. I'm tired.
Oh, you're tired. Join the club, buddy.
You look fresh as a daisy.
No, I am not fresh, but it's been a great year. I mean, it's been super busy, great year, and just happy to be here because it means it's the last day, and we're all ready to pack this thing up and put it to bed at 5 o'clock.
The last day of 52, but it's the first day of
53.
Okay.
Where we are going to celebrate the 100th anniversary of Lindbergh's flight across the Atlantic. So there's going to be more of an international flair. This year is obviously the red, white, and blue at 52 as we're celebrating America's birthday in July. We had an early birthday party this week. It's been splendid. But we're going to celebrate how aviation connects the world next year with the 100th anniversary of Lindbergh's crossing of the Atlantic. So already working to get the Spirit of St. Louis replica here out of Old Rhinebeck and get it down here, and we'll have all the theming will be wrapped around that. And
Gene, there's no monetary reason that can't happen.
Oh yeah, well yeah, there always is. But we're working with Clay Hammond, who's part of the museum up there. Yeah. To get the Spirit down here and some other cool aircraft as well. So it should be good.
Kermit Weeks has.
Oh yeah, he has one.
Strings to pull up there too.
Yep, he is. Yep, absolutely.
Gene, the motto of red, white, and blue 52, and I understand that the new motto, according to Eric, is going to be everything is free in 53.
Well, I wish that was the case, but it probably would be the last year of SNF after that one. No, we probably could make it happen, but it would definitely be the last year, But, this is such a huge event, and there's a lot of costs that go into this event when you bring well over 210,000 people. We had a record day yesterday. There were a lot of people here.
I wasn't going to ask you numbers. But.
Yeah, it's a lot. We parked over 21,000 cars yesterday. Last year we did 18,000 cars, and so it was a great day. But even though it was a great day, a lot of people were here. It was warm, and it becomes quite challenging, to manage all of that, and especially on our volunteers. We're asking a lot of them, to help us coordinate that and be out there with all the masses and the heat as well. So they've done a phenomenal job. Again, I can't thank them enough. And they are the heart and soul and of what we do here, and without them we couldn't be today and have another record year. So we're very fortunate, but trust me, we're already planning for next year and tweaking and already debriefing and talking about what we need to do better for next year. But I will say, outside of Saturday, which is a great day yesterday, the aircraft this year, there were a lot of airplanes out there. We talked about changing up Wednesdays, tempo with taking away the daytime air show from 1 to 5 and then stopping or, open the airport again and then going the night show from 7 to 9:30. Doing the composite air show starting at 5 and then going through 9:30. That was such a godsend, really pulled away all of the compression and a little bit of the chaos. A lot of aircraft are wanting to arrive and depart. It really pulled that away, and it kind of slowed the day down, and it got a lot of airplanes in and out. And record numbers all over the place. So we're excited. I mean, records are great, but number one, for anything that we're doing, it's just about being safe. And we got to get through 5 o'clock and get everybody home and on the deck safely. But it's been a great year.
Well, and that's something that we try to every day after we turn your signal at 9. Before that, we have our little intro of thanking our affiliates and people that we're all volunteers too.
Yep,
a lot of volunteerism. And without their assistance, we wouldn't be able to do this.
Yep.
So we thank them. But Dr. George, our weather guy, comes on, and we got a big stream of weather coming up on us, and we're very, very careful. We want you to get here safely.
Yep.
We want you to get home safely.
Absolutely.
Too. We don't want to just use you up and drain your bank accounts and then ship you home.
Well, that's your decision if you're draining your bank account. I'm not making that happen.
You know what?
But if we provide great stuff and that happens, well, then we did a good job.
So be it.
Yep.
I mean, it's just money.
Yep.
But Gene, the most valuable commodity that any of us have is our time.
Yep.
And that's the reason that when you thank somebody, thank you for your time.
No, I appreciate that. And, really, when I've been talking to various groups this week, it's obviously our volunteers, they're coming there, spend weeks with us, even if it's a day, spending a lot of time, effort, and money to be here with us to put on this event. But also when you think about our exhibitors, over 572 exhibitors this year, which is a record, but they're all coming out of their offices. They're bringing their exhibits down here. They're staying in hotels. These are long days. They're buying food, renting cars, airfare, all of that to get everybody here. and all our flying guests. I mean, these folks are, they're taking time off to be with us. And home builts this year, packed with home builts. We had the ultralight invasion this year, so there are actually, I think, close to 20 ultralights out in Paradise City yesterday, which I haven't seen in quite a long time. So that was quite refreshing. And our general aviation camping area, that filled up this year. I think because of the composite air show and moving the air show on Wednesday to 5 o'clock, I think that helped significantly. And the weather. There was no low pressure sweeping across the northern part of the peninsula of Florida, it's keeping people from coming. The weather has been great. Obviously, it's been hot, especially yesterday, but, we couldn't have dialed it up any better.
Well, that was Dr. George Bertuscus is responsible for that because he ordered the weather for this week.
Well, I know other people that may have said they're responsible for it too. I'll let them figure that out and duke it out.
We'll take full credit.
Yeah, but again, in the programming this year too, I don't know. Did everybody see our night show last night? I don't know what to tell anybody, but I didn't know what to expect. Dennis Dunbar, our executive director for air shows and attractions, he produces all of that along with obviously the laser folks, the Tora bomb squad, on final, our fireworks folks, our drone folks, the air show performers, and coordinates all of that. And it was the most spectacular display that I have seen. I've seen a lot of these, and it was absolutely phenomenal. And if anybody noticed and you saw the show last night, the drone portion where you had the little kid taking the picture of the F-16, so that was a tribute to Raz, who was the F-22 demo pilot the last several years and is now number 8 on the Thunderbirds. And so he got into aviation by being a photographer and going to air shows and taking pictures of the Thunderbirds, the Blue Angels, and the demos. And now he's, fortunate enough to be in the F-22 demo pilot for 2 years and is now number 8 on the Thunderbird. So that was kind of a tribute to him, but to all those kids and all the kids that we inspire, by coming to an event like this. So you never know what that trigger point is going to be or what that switch, how the switch is going to be flipped in these kids' brains. Whether it's ultralights or seaplanes or home builds or warbirds or whatever it is. We never know what that's going to be, but we want to introduce them to all of it. And I know we're looking at some shots on the night show last night. But also, I have to say kudos to my balloon friends, my hot air balloon friends.
Every day.
So we have not had hot air balloon launches here probably in close to a decade.
Yeah.
And so when Dennis Dunbar told me this year we're gonna launch balloons every morning, I was like, well, we're probably gonna hit one, and I think we hit 4 out of 6. And so I live close here to the airport, about a mile away. First day I'm driving in, and right in front of me are the balloons that launched Tuesday morning. They headed to the south that day, but it was awesome, and it really set the tone for the week. And all things aviation are here. The military was here in a big way, even though obviously the other things that are happening in the world right now. But the military was here in a big way as well, and so we appreciate the support by them, and obviously all they do for our country. But it's been a great week.
Well, and your Aerospace Center for Excellence, and we have really been touting it's not just about airplanes or aviation, it's aerospace, it's the industry. And there's so much that goes on here, folks that cut their teeth. And not too many people know this about you. If they don't you cut your teeth at an air show. Yeah,
we've talked about this. I was born in Oshkosh. My dad ran the airport there when I was a kid, so I am only here, and I'm very fortunate to be in charge of Sun Fun, whatever you want to call me. But
you're responsible.
Yeah, I'm the responsible party. I take all the good and I take all the bad. So, but I grew up around this and watching it my whole life. Being born in Oshkosh and now volunteering at AirVenture for the last 37 years. So, I'm an appeaser.
You're still up there on the flight line.
Oh yeah, I'm out there. So trust me, my volunteers, I am there with you. I understand the long days and being out there on the hot ramp or the concrete, because I do that up at AirVenture. I'm out there for 7 days straight. My feet hurt. I got a good suntan, but I'm out there too. And so I appreciate, on hot days, what it really takes to power through and make sure everybody's being safe. And with all of our programming this year, they're long days because, we had Tuesday opening night concert. Wednesday we had a night show. Thursday and Friday we kind of get a respite a little bit, but then Saturday it's we had the 5K here that the airport puts on that started at 6:45 yesterday morning, and so it starts at 6:45 in the morning, and then we weren't done. I didn't leave here last night until about 12:30 because there's just so much to do, and and there's a lot of trash too. And so sometimes I'm out there picking up trash because someone's got to get it done.
We were out there with you night before last with Bull. We were out there picking up the ramp and getting it ready for the.
But I mean, I'm not just going to stand there and look at my volunteers do it. I mean, I'm an able-bodied individual, so we're going to get out there and help too, because that's what it's all about. It's about the teamwork. You know, and talking about the Aerospace Center for Excellence, you know, we do all of this and everybody comes here and spends money. But, you know, the net proceeds are going right back into our educational programming here the other 51 weeks out of the year. We've got super robust programs. You know, this week alone, close to 4,000 kids came on school buses for our field trip program just during the fly-in. But then this year, for the 2025-26 school year, we have over 4,000 kids coming through our Skylab Innovation Center, 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th graders that we're paying to bus in, pre-approved field trips to, you know, come and introduce them to STEM and aviation. And you know, so it doesn't stop, you know. I mean, yes, it's the last day. I'm going to try to get some sleep tomorrow, but we got a lot of work to do because we start construction, for example, on our outdoor pavilion. We are going to glass that in, so we raised $3.5 million while we were getting ready for this event. So we're going right into construction on May 1st to get that facility ready, and we're already making significant improvements in the Florida Air Museum to our exhibits because, you know, Central Florida is still growing. A lot of people moving here, and there's a lot of families here, you know, that we want to, you know, introduce to aviation and be part of our family here at Sun & Fun because, you know, we need the next generation to come up and love this event too, want to volunteer with us, but come back, you know, for another 52 years. So when people are like here at the event this year, they probably saw some different things, more entertainment and things in the evenings, because I will tell you, you know, our demographics changing as well. So we've got to balance, you know, different age groups. You know, I'm 50 now, so, but we got to go down and entertain, you know, and make sure our younger demographic is having a good time as well. So some changes this year, some more entertainment. Some people may like it, not like it, you know, but it's if you're going to be here with us for a week and, you know, camping with us and be here for these long, long days, you know, we want you to have a good time, be entertained. And, you know, if you're making a choice, you know, for a vacation or where you're going to go, we want Sun & Fun to be that choice.
Well, it is a destination for a lot of people. We have some friends down from Kenai, Alaska, that come here every year just to come to this event. And it's Joel and Karen Caldwell up there. Great folks, and they bring so many people with them. That's the beauty part. And talking to Eric about the quality control, and we've been blessed with good weather this week. However, there's times that it's not. I mean, when it's raining, that's not water, that's liquid sunshine here in Florida. So let's just take the mud and the rain and the cold temps and the thunderstorms, but we don't want to have any tornadoes again. That one hopefully is
everybody, like, okay, so everybody's watching this, please stop talking to me about tornadoes. Everybody likes to bring up the tornado thing. I get it. I was the airport director here at that time, but everybody wants to talk to me about that. So, but actually, Nan Walsh, who was my assistant airport director here, she was into quilting for a period of time. So I had a bunch of T-shirts, and she cut them up for me, and then made them into this quilt. And the one that I sleep with and is close to my face is the "I Survived Sun & Fun 2011 tornado." So I see it every single day. So trust me, I remember about the tornado in 2011. I was here.
But we're over it.
We're over it.
But even then, I remember that. Even then, the folks that pulled together to clean up and to get us back on track, we didn't lose much.
Well, yeah, and if you think, I mean, you know, so you lose Thursday, you have an unfortunate event like that happen, you got to clean it up, right? And then you've got to be ready for the next day. And I'll be honest, you know, being the airport director, I mean, I wasn't running Sun & Fun at that time, but obviously as the airport director in the city of Lakeland, we're trying to help as much as possible because we understand, obviously, or I understood, you know, when I was running the airport, what this event means, you know, as a nonprofit, and it's important, and we've got to have big days. And I believe that Friday after, and the Blue Angels weren't going to come. And I remember I was standing in the FBO up on the north side, and they were going to stop sending the tankers because the Blue Angels were kind of iffy if they were coming. And once they said they were coming, like I told them, just get the tankers here because they need to be here. We need to have a great weekend for Sun & Fun, and we need to make this happen. So, but hey, you know, kudos to the volunteers and all the people here in 2011 that made that happen and recovered quickly because it was a banner weekend after that for the event.
And some people say, well, that's worst case scenario. I says, no, because we didn't have anybody lose their life. During that.
And that's what I tell everybody. I was like, look, at the end of the day, let's not kill anybody All right, we can't kill anybody. Anything else we can fix.
Exactly.
Anything else we can fix. We just got to be safe.
Airplanes, we can roll them up in a
Yep.
ball.
I mean, we had an aircraft incident the other day, actually, when I was on the live, and I'm getting texts and something's happening, and then I was between breaks. I'm the texter for our alert system to our pilots. We have a number in the NOTAM this year to alert our pilots, if there's something going on. And, I'm sitting in there in the break sending out the text for that. But that person was fine. Everything's good. No hits, no runs, no errors. Just probably a little ego hurt, hurt a little bit. But, it could fix the airplane.
Gene, this is always such a dynamic period of time. And I think you're having a party at your place next weekend, isn't it?
Yeah, I will be partying by myself at next weekend,
Okay.
but I'm just we have to enjoy this, but we're less than 365 days to the next fly-in, so we got to get ready for that. And yes, we've had a great year, but I also need people to appreciate too. This is a super expensive event to produce, and so I sometimes get calls from folks and. Well, it's expensive, or your ticket prices are raised, which we haven't done in 3 years.
We can't afford it this year.
Yeah, I know, but we try to keep it obviously as reasonable as possible. I mean, for example, a Florida resident special, a family of 5, 2 adults, 3 kids could come for about $130, including parking. I mean, that's a pretty good outing. You can't go to Disney for that. Probably not even for one person. It's probably cost more than that. So, we continue to raise the entertainment value, but it's an expensive event. So. Just for the tent company, the tents we produce, whether it's security tents, it's tents for our various aircraft areas and all that, it's pretty close to $800,000 this year for us to produce that. All the porta potties, all the amenities we need to provide, that's about $250,000. Our emergency service friends, Lakeland Police Department, Polk County Sheriff's Office, Lakeland Fire Department, that's probably another $250,000 combined for all that. So these numbers start to add up really quick. So we have to recover those costs. So, so our net proceeds and what we generate go back into our families and our kiddos here in Central Florida.
And Gene, many hands make light work. So if you could, $5, $10, 25, it doesn't matter. And there's things going on all year round here on the campus. And I was talking to Eric about the quality control. And for brickbats and bouquets, everything we do great, let us know. If there's something that we could do better, let us know. And this is, and again, from the Florida Aviation Network, we're proud to be your official television network.
I appreciate that.
We're not SNF, we're not SNF TV, but we are the network that helps get the safety information out. This has been home for us for many years, and hopefully many years to come.
Absolutely.
Gene, the affiliates that help you put this on, your website is very good, by the way.
It needs some tweaking, but we're working on that. It could be better.
It's very good, but and this is a destination for a lot of folks every year that we come back. There's things going on here that you might want to come to other than just during the April time frame, but in our sister organization, I got to throw a plug in there for Sentimental Journey up in Lock. Did you know where the birthplace is of a J3 Cub? I
have no idea.
It's called a little place called Lock Haven. In Pennsylvania, in Susquehanna Valley, but there's fly-ins all over the country, and we encourage and folks love to go and camp, and we have fun doing that. And
and I think that's something in regards to fly-ins, for example, or air shows in general too. I get asked quite a bit about comparing us to AirVenture and all of that, and there really is no comparison. We're similar in many ways, right? But we're completely different shows. But we grew up out of the Experimental Aircraft Association, so we appreciate them. Obviously, I was born there, and we go up there every year. But it's not about competing. I'll be honest, we need more fly-ins. We need more air shows, to get people, involved in aviation. And there's a lot going on. There's a lot of, pressure right now on general aviation with various mayors in various cities wanting to close airports and use the land that those airports sit on to develop and do other things with. And in the aviation world, in the community, we all need to make our voices heard and get out there and make these things, or try our darndest to make them stop happening, because once it's gone forever. It's one example I'm specifically talking about is Cleveland, Burke Lakefront. I mean, they've had, it's obviously a general aviation airport year round, but there is, the Cleveland National Air Show is up there. And if that goes away, I mean, that's not a good thing. It's been going on for 60-something years, 70, whatever it's been. But there's quite a bit of attack on aviation right now, and so we all need to pull together and fight these types of things that are happening.
Well, and it's not only where we are going to in building, but it's where we came from, and all those pioneers that helped create this environment that we're enjoying so much now. The youth, a lot of folks, they did Chuck Yeager. There's some people that did Chuck who? Mm-hmm. They don't know that he was he broke the sound, first human to break the sound barrier.
Yep.
And there's other icons. Scott Crossfield.
Yep.
He was a very, very big guy.
Well, that's why, opening night opening night concert, we brought, up on stage 7 World War II vets from Central Florida. The youngest being 98, the oldest being 107, who, by the way, people may not know this, he walked up the stairs. He refused to be in the wheelchair and be wheeled up there. He walked up there by himself. And the backdrop, all the officers of the Thunderbirds, they were here early this week. They were the backdrop and brought our World War II guests up there, and that was the whole point, is to get them in front of folks, because unfortunately they're not going to be here with us much longer, because it's just the natural way of things. But to get them up there, and so our crowd, about 7,000 people, could honor them, and we did that in a big way, and that was the best moment for me of the week. On the first night, to be able to do that and pull that off, and Gary Clark with our Polk County Veterans Council helped us get that done. It was just an honor to be in their presence.
And Gene, the whole thing, when I see some of our seniors, our veterans, is the passion. They're so passionate about this vocation, this industry, and it's still alive. And as far as I'm concerned, it's growing.
Oh yeah, it's growing, and we've seen it this week. There are a lot of younger folks out there, so it's growing. But there's a lot of competition out there for people's attention too. So again, that's why we have to do things a little bit different, because we need them to think about Sun and Fun in a different way. Yeah, they love aviation, but they want to be here, and when they get older too, and they start their families and bring their kids back and all of that. So that's what it's all about, and maintaining the legacy of what this event has created over the last 52 years. You talk about pioneers. I mean, we still have quite a few of our pioneers, which are, our volunteers that helped start this organization over 52 years ago. Every Thursday during the event, we have a luncheon for them. I go and speak to them, to tell them, look what has happened here over 52 years, and we're standing on their shoulders, right? I mean, that's what it's all about. So hopefully we're making them proud, and we keep pushing hard to make this place great.
Well, it's our responsibility as some of the seniors, and now that you hit 50.
Well, I have a little gray too, so I forgot to shave this morning, so it was pointed out to me earlier. But hey, I was super tired. I got out of the shower, I was like, I didn't shave, but I was like, whatever. That's okay. Sunday, it's the last day.
All right. It'll all come out. Yep. It'll all come out in the wash. But it's our responsibility to share it with the youth and to show, and they really learn a lot through our enthusiasm. And if anybody can't see the passion, enthusiasm in you, they're not paying attention.
Well, I appreciate that, but again, I'm just, and two, when you think about my upbringing, yes, I grew up born in Oshkosh or whatever, but my father was the airport director, right, and for 20, 30 years or whatnot, but I was in Oshkosh, and then once he moved to another airport, it was Huntsville, Alabama, so you have Redstone Arsenal there, right, and then we moved to Dayton, Ohio, because he became the airport director in Dayton, and then obviously the home of the Wright brothers, they were born there. So just been super fortunate to be around cool things, see these things, and come to a place like this in Lakeland. The only reason I came here to run the airport is because Sun and Fun was here, and now I'm the person in charge. But
and you came here from Branson, didn't you?
Branson, Missouri. I was part of a private company. We built a $155 million airport in the hills of the Ozark Mountains. Just plowed over the hills and threw a runway in there. Commercial service airport, but the opening weekend we had a big air show up there too, so get everybody excited about what's going to happen. We had the Thunderbirds there and all that, so it's a good show.
And Gene, just because you came up in an aviation environment, and I'm fortunate, I came up, I just don't know any better, but there's a lot of youth out there that, we don't have an airplane. My family, I didn't grow up around airplanes. That doesn't matter. If it's a passion that you want to follow, Don't let anybody tell that you
Yeah,
can't
and
do it.
that's why when we talked a little earlier about the field trips. So field trips during the event, that's great. These kids get to see it. But our field trips we're doing year round through the Aerospace Center for Excellence and bringing these kids from all over our county and busing them in. 90% of these kids that are coming in are coming from Title I schools. Okay, so these are kids that wouldn't otherwise have an opportunity. They've never seen an airplane. They don't even know that aviation is a possibility for them. So when they come to our facilities here, talk about eyes wide open. Like coming in, they're probably like, "What is this place?" Like, "Well, okay," but then when they're leaving, they've been introduced to it, and that's what it's all about. Because and I was an airport director. We have to put up fences, right? I get it, and we got to protect and safety and all that stuff. But getting these kids out here so they can touch it, they can feel it, they can have a better appreciation for it, and then our programming, keeps them going through high school. Our scholarship program, a James C. Ray scholarship, for the pilot scholarships, we awarded 30 private pilot scholarships last year, right, at $12,000 a piece.
Wow.
We just certificated our 200th pilot Sunday before Sun and Fun. Chuck Brown, the DPE, he's done probably about 110 of them, who signed them off. We got our 200th done, but that's what it's all about, is getting these kids early on in our programming and then supporting them all the way through up until their career.
Well, Gene, I hope that I'm around for the 2000th. That was the 200th. I want to be around for the 2000th pilot certification.
Me too.
Coming through here.
That'd be awesome.
Gene, and I want to take this opportunity to, in TV, we start on time and we end on time, okay? Come hell or high water, you got to hit your time marks. This is our last show for this year.
Yep.
And this was, we have blown the heck out of our time standards. We've blown
We're already past it?
Oh, heck, we're 6 minutes past our time.
Oh, that's right. Well, you told me you should have told me to stop talking. I would have been fine.
I'm going to tell the president, CEO.
No, I mean,
hey,
I'm taking your lead. You got the thing in your ear. You hear them. I don't hear them, so I don't know what's going on.
But again, this is all live,
Yep.
and that's the reason we like live is because what's happening is what's happening.
But I appreciate the time because I think it's important. I like to. I try to be a very transparent person. Hopefully, everybody knows that. I mean, I'm happy to answer any questions anybody has, but I'd like to. I appreciate the opportunity to kind of explain some things and kind of dig into some things from time to time, so people have a better appreciation. Because I don't. I've heard in the past that Sun and Fun, it's about a money grab, and it is definitely not that.
Yeah.
We have a lot of expenses, but again, we want to perform well, so again, we can take care of our kiddos and our youth and get them into this industry. And before we go, if I could just say one more thing, I just want to say to our volunteers, thank you. I can't thank you enough. Again, all the things that you guys do out there, the flexibility, the pivoting to make this event happen, keeping our people safe. If you go out to the approach end of runway 5 and the corner of Bravo and all that and Echo, it gets quite busy out there because they're sorting airplanes and people and golf carts and cars or a jet engine on wheels that goes around in the I mean, there's just a lot going on, but they do such a phenomenal job, and I mean, thanks. I say it all the time. That's not even, there needs to be a better word for the max amount of appreciation that someone could show, because they're awesome, and thank you.
And it's all about you. It's not about us and the folks that put all this on. It's about you, and that's why we're here. And there's only one thing that I want to learn at the end of this presentation, and I'm going to go look it up. I want to meet the guy that developed the hinge on the Guppy.
Oh yeah, I was thinking about that the other day. I mean, that whole front section of the Guppy moves, right? And there's that one. Yes, I was looking at that the other day. Thought the same thing. That's amazing.
It's Conroy is the engineer that came up with that, and I thought for some reason that Conrad it Conrad or I looked it up. It's Conroy.
Hey, but speaking of the Guppy, I mean, what an honor it was this week. Having the Guppy here, T-38. NASA was here in a big way. The NASA administrator Jared Eichmann was here, who has a tie here to Lakeland because he founded Draken International. It's here on the airport. So I know the NASA administrator because I negotiated that lease with him back in 2011. So he's a great guy.
Not that you want to pull any strings or anything.
No, I am. My goal is to go meet with him here in about 30 days over at Kennedy Space Flight Center, because we're going to talk to him about our programming here. So, Mr. Administrator, if you're watching, be ready for me. we want to share the story and what's actually happening here. But also, real quick, we had the FAA administrator, Brian Bedford, was here as well. So myself and Eric Crump had him for about an hour touring the facility and telling him about our programs, and he was quite impressed. So anyway, I'll shut up now.
No, don't shut up, because, and I got to take this back about everything's free in 53. Nah, that's really not true, but there's more to see in 53.
Yep. Well, I was doing another program this morning, and people were saying that. So,
more to see.
But there's got to be an international spin to it, right?
Yeah.
So I've got to, we've got to come up with something where you're connecting the world, bridging the world. 50s, like, what's that one word that's going to rhyme with 53 that says that? So
we'll find,
if anybody knows, text me or send me an email.
Throw it to us. We're open. It's open book.
I'm an open book.
Gene, thanks you so much. Seriously.
Appreciate you. Thanks for everything. Thank you for the crew and all the volunteers.
And folks, this is a wrap. We will see you. Go to, again, SNFFlyIn.org.
No, flysnf.org.
Damn it.
Flysnf.org.
Flysnf.org.
Thank you for the attempt.
but no, we tried. But
Yeah,
now
I
they will
appreciate
stick it forever. Now these guys screwed it up on set.
No worries.
We'll see you in 53. Hey, and hand clap. Come on, go.